Hey guys, what's going on? I am Hiroshi from WebStylePress.com. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here, I share tutorials at this channel that can boost up your software engineering skills. So if you want to learn and grow in this area, join this channel by hitting subscribe button and bell icon. In this video, I am going to show you how can you toggle content on click of a button in a class-based component and in function component. In class-based component, we will have to make use of this keyword, the keyword this. And in function component, we do not have to use this keyword. Instead, in function component, we will use a hook that is useState. So you will learn how to toggle content in a class-based component and in function-based component, and also you will learn how to use hook useState. If you don't have to use class-based component, hooks are way to go, and useState will help us for function components. So let's start. I have got this simple component with a class-based this is a class-based component, class app, and this app is being exported here, and this class is extending component. Okay, and because this is a class-based component, we have to use constructor to define our state. This is our state. So constructor props, super props, and this is our state. Here will be our state. We will have a single state, show content, and here we will use a boolean value that will be true or false. I am using true here for now, and this is our state with a single property that is show content with a value true. This is not a string, this is a boolean value. Okay, all right, so we will use this content here. Let's use all of this content. Let's enclose it in paragraph tag, and this is our tag, paragraph tag. So this will be displayed if the state, this value of this show content will be true. So for that, we will use like this one, show content. So this dot state, this one, this dot state dot show content. If this is true, we will display something, or else we won't display anything. So our paragraph, this whole text will go inside this one. All right, if I turn the value of this property to false and save it, our text will be gone from here. And let's turn it back to true, and there we have our text. We have just used a single property in state, and we have called that property here. This means you can use it like this also. It also means that if the value of this thing is true, then display this one. But typically we do not need to use this one. This alone means if the value of this is true, or if this exists and this is true, then show this one, or else null, don't show anything. So now we will use a button that will toggle this text. Button toggle. Our button is very small. All right, so this is our button. We want to use a click handler at this button. On click, this is our click handler. Okay, this dot toggle. Now this is our function name, and we will define that function below the constructed area and above the render. Toggle this dot set state state has got this value. We want to toggle this value, and we will use not this dot state dot that value again. It means when I click at that button, fire this function, and inside this function we say that change the state and change the value in the state, that is show content, and turn it opposite to the current value. So this dot state dot show content is the value, and this operator here, this sign here, will turn it to opposite value. This is not operator. So let's try this. Okay, so this gives us error because we did not bind this function. So let's bind it, and we will bind it inside the constructor, and we will bind it like this. This dot toggle is equal to this dot toggle dot bind this. Let's try this now. Yes, this is working now. Components. Let's see the state. This is the app. App has got this state, show content, that is right now true. And if I click that, it becomes false. True, false. True, false, right? There is another way you can bind this, and that is the arrow function that we will learn in another video. Okay, this was a way in which we learned how can we use toggle in case of a class-based component. Let's create another component. Let's name it second.js. So this is our second component, and react function component. So this is a function component, simple function, and there is no class inside this, right? Second, and inside it toggle, I want to use the button, toggle 2, and this will be our second text. Let's call this component here import second component from second. This name can be any name, and this is our file without the JS. You can use it without the JS extension, and I'm copying it from here, and let's go here and just call this component. Let's use a couple of breaks here. Alright, so this is the second component here. Okay, our toggle button, first toggle button is working. Now we want to make this thing work, and this is our component, and we need a state here. Now this component is not class based, this is function component, so we will use hook here, use state. This is our hook, and we will use it here. Const show set show is equal to useState true. Okay, so there is some problem. So what we will do is export const second and then it needs a default export. Export default second, and I guess I'm still making a mistake here. The components names start with capital letter, so that was the mistake here. So if I go back and just make this letter bigger, this will work. So this was the mistake. Component name should always start from a capital letter. All right, so this is our button and this is our paragraph and this is our state, use state hook. So we have called the use state hook here and we have used it here, and inside this use state we have got a value, boolean value, that is true. It can be true or false, and for that value here are two variables, show and set show. Show contains this value and this set show will be used to change the value stored in this variable. Okay, so we want to, first of all, this is the show. This first variable contains the value of state, curly brackets, and if show is true, then we want to show something, or else null. And this is our paragraph and we will paste it here, and this is true and this is being displayed, text is being displayed here, and if we turn it to false it will disappear. Okay, so let's turn it to true again, and this is our logic. If see, this has turned white and we haven't used this yet, so this is not, so this is kind of dim. All right, so we now will change this state on click of this button. So we need a click handler on click handle click. Now we won't use this here because we are not in a class based component, so just handle click. So this is our function. Handle click is equal to, we will bind it by using arrow function, and this needs const. This is a function, and inside this function we will just switch the value of show. So set show not show. That's it, as simple as that. So this show contains the value stored in our state, and here we have called set show and we have told it to change the boolean value. If it is true, make it false. If it is false, make it true. So as you can see, class based component is hectic to work with. It's got the constructor, you have to use this keyword, you have to bind stuff inside it, and it is hectic. It is pretty much more work. And for hooks, in case of hooks, you can use the hooks inside function components, and you can just define your state like this, and you can use two variables. First one contains the value of state, and second one can be used to change the value of this state. And here is our simple function to change the value stored in state, and this is our condition. If the value is true, then show this paragraph, otherwise don't. And our simple button and our click handler, simple function without this keyword, simple as that. So if now I see the values stored in this state. Let's see, components. So this is the app and this is the second. See, in case of app, it is showing me the state of show content. That is true. And for second, I can see the hooks and the state here is true, and it turns into false and true. It is being toggled. As easy as that, guys. Very simple. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If I missed anything or you have something to add, you can comment down below, ask questions related to this topic. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe to the channel and hit bell icon to receive updates. Join us on social media. Links are in the description below. Stay tuned for more updates. I will see you in the next video.